Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to explore the terrifying creatures of the cave. Within the vast and captivating world of horror and science fiction cinema, few monsters leave such a lasting and terrifying impression as the mutants featured in the film The Cave. Although these creatures may have faded somewhat into obscurity among mainstream audiences over time, their innovative design and the fascinating lore behind them continue to be a point of admiration and interest for any dedicated fan of the genre. At first glance, these beings appear to be the embodiment of our most primal fears, demonic entities, or massive gargoyles that lurk relentlessly in the shadows, emanating an ominous presence that can send shivers down the spine of anyone daring to approach their domain. However, behind that haunting, unsettling, and almost supernatural appearance lies a complex and captivating biological explanation. These monsters are the result of a deep, grotesque mutation caused by a viral parasite with extraordinarily potent mutagenic properties, capable of radically altering the genetic makeup of both humans and animals, fusing them into abominable forms that defy natural laws. It is speculated that this parasite has roots dating back to the most remote eras of prehistory, possibly becoming the spark that gave rise to ancient myths and legends about demons and hellish beasts said to dwell in the forgotten depths of the earth. In this way, tales from ancient civilizations, ranging from medieval chronicles to explorers' accounts, may have been desperate attempts to explain these biological aberrations through supernatural and fantastical narratives, a primitive method of making sense of a phenomenon for which no scientific explanation yet existed. The aura of mystery surrounding these creatures, their dark origin, disturbing evolution, and central role in the cave's plot, has secured their place as some of the most iconic and memorable monsters in modern science fiction cinema. They represent a perfect balance between visceral horror and speculative science, blending real biological elements with creative imagination to generate a fear that feels both authentic and credible. In this in-depth analysis, we'll delve into every aspect of these beings, from their grotesque and striking physical appearance to their behavior and deadly abilities, and even their weaknesses, everything that makes them such unique and formidable creatures. We will also explore the complex production process behind the film, with particular emphasis on the work of renowned conceptual artist Patrick Tatopoulos, whose artistic mastery brought these unsettling entities to life, not just to terrify, but also to fascinate. Narratively, these mutants inhabit the dark, labyrinthine Romanian caves, a claustrophobic and perilous environment where light is virtually non-existent. In the story, they are the primary antagonists, the threat the characters must face in order to survive. Their existence is directly linked to a viral parasite capable of, over time, radically transforming the organisms it infects, turning them into perfect predators, terrifying and perfectly adapted to survive in absolute subterranean darkness. This organism doesn't just alter the morphology of its hosts, it heightens and sharpens their senses far beyond natural limits, especially smell and echolocation, granting them the ability to see and hunt in total darkness by detecting echoes and vibrations, an essential adaptation for survival in such a hostile, lightless ecosystem. Humans infected by the parasite undergo a gradual and progressive metamorphosis, slowly losing their humanity as they transform into monstrous forms specifically designed to thrive in an environment as inhospitable and dangerous as the cavernous depths. Historically, the presence of this parasite appears to be exclusive to the Romanian caves, with archaeological records dating back to the 13th century. During a subterranean archaeological expedition, cave paintings and engravings left by the Knights Templar were discovered, depictions of these creatures with wings or grotesque, gargoyle-like features, proving that even in those times, these entities were either known or feared. These remnants suggest that the legends and fears of the Middle Ages may have a real basis tied to the existence of these abominations. What truly sets this parasite apart from other subterranean organisms is its evolution, strictly confined to cave environments over millions of years. It is not a creature that descended from the surface. Its entire existence is intrinsically tied to absolute darkness, total isolation, and the extreme conditions found only in the depths of the earth. This parasite establishes a symbiotic relationship with larger organisms, such as humans, allowing it to induce extreme mutations that maximize its host's abilities and adaptations to dominate such a challenging environment. Once a human is infected, their body begins a slow but irreversible transformation process, reshaping itself to withstand the harsh conditions of the subterranean world, losing human characteristics while gaining strength, speed, and enhanced sensory abilities. Although the full cycle of this metamorphosis remains a mystery, and it's unclear whether the creatures we see in the film have reached their final form, it is known that the parasite possesses extraordinary evolutionary potential, capable of brutally reshaping its host to optimize survival at almost unimaginable levels. During this evolution, infected individuals develop wings under their arms, indispensable tools for agile movement through the tight and vertical spaces of the caves, while their upper limbs grow stronger and more versatile, perfect for attacking and interacting with the environment. Their legs, though still present, are primarily adapted for maintaining balance and stability, as much of their mobility now depends on their wings and claws, designed for climbing and stalking in the dark. A prominent crest runs along their heads, functioning as an advanced sensory organ that refines their echolocation abilities, enabling them to navigate precisely and detect prey or threats in complete darkness, far beyond anything human senses could ever achieve. These creatures are covered by a prominent row of spines or sharp spikes running all along their backs, a visually striking feature that goes far beyond mere aesthetics. These structures serve a vital role in their survival. They act as a sensory and navigation system that allows them to orient themselves and move with astounding precision within the complex and claustrophobic spaces they inhabit. In an environment as hostile and dark as the cavernous depths, where vision is practically useless, this mechanism becomes essential for both movement and hunting. One of the most surprising and at the same time terrifying features that define these beings is that they possess not one, but two functional jaws. They have an external jaw, robust and razor-sharp, and an internal one, much smaller and hidden, which operates independently. This trait immediately evokes the iconic image of the xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, but it's not just a visual gimmick to make them look more monstrous or unsettling. The dual-jaw system is, in fact, a brutal evolutionary advantage that turns them into utterly lethal predators, capable of attacking and killing with astonishing speed and efficiency. Each jaw serves a distinct tactical purpose during hunting and combat, making these creatures a deadly fusion of power and precision. As previously mentioned, these creatures possess an incredibly advanced echolocation system that grants them the ability to see with remarkable clarity in the pitch-black darkness of the caves. They emit high-frequency sound waves that bounce off rocky walls and other surfaces, and these signals are picked up by a special crest located on their heads. This crest is far from decorative. It functions as a highly sophisticated sensory organ that interprets the sound information to construct a three-dimensional mental map of their surroundings. Thanks to this adaptation, these mutants become exceptionally efficient hunters in such a dark, dangerous, and complex underground habitat. This navigation and perception mechanism can be compared to that used by many species of bats today, animals that have perfected echolocation as a key survival tool in the night. It's believed that the viral parasite infecting these creatures adopted this evolutionary strategy to maximize the survival of its hosts, adapting them to dominate the cave ecosystem with lethal precision. But these creatures' adaptation isn't limited to skillful movement across rocky terrain or through the air within caves. They are also fast, agile flyers. Thanks to their advanced echolocation system, they maneuver with astounding accuracy, avoiding collisions with the jagged cave walls, or even with each other, when flying in coordinated, synchronized groups. This flight capability, rarely seen in cinematic monsters, adds an extra layer of threat and terror, as it allows them to launch aerial attacks with a significant advantage. Moreover, they are exceptional swimmers, perfectly adapted to traverse the aquatic zones within the cave system. This versatility, on land, in the air, and in water, makes them nearly invincible predators within their ecosystem, capable of stalking prey from multiple angles and environments. We also cannot overlook their surprising intelligence. Despite their bestial appearance and aggressive behavior, these creatures demonstrate a notable capacity for strategy. They're capable of setting elaborate traps to catch their prey and stealing vital resources for survival, suggesting that they don't act purely on instinct, but with a degree of planning and coordination. These traits exponentially increase the danger they pose. One mystery the film never fully clarifies is how much of their original humanity remains intact. It's unclear whether they retain any trace of consciousness, memory, or emotion, although the narrative suggests that the mutation gradually strips them of all human essence, transforming them into pure aggression machines, devoid of compassion or reason. Among their weaknesses, it's known that exposure to intense light affects them severely, causing pain or disorientation. Likewise, certain specific sound frequencies can weaken or disorient these mutants, exploiting their highly developed auditory sense as a critical vulnerability. In the DVD and Blu-ray bonus features, Patrick Tatopoulos, the artistic genius responsible for the creature's conceptual design, reveals that he has always believed the most effective movie monsters must retain humanoid features in order to generate a deeper emotional impact on audiences. For this reason, although these beings are fully mutated, they maintain recognizable human elements, such as shoulder structure and an overall body shape that still resembles the human form. Tatopoulos also mentions that the director gave him complete creative freedom to design the monsters, without strict guidelines on how they should look. This allowed the artist to envision these creatures as an organic fusion between bats and humans, aiming to evoke the classic, Gothic appearance of gargoyles, those legendary figures that once terrified from the facades of ancient cathedrals. The creative process began with sketches blending bat features with human traits, gradually evolving into these terrifying winged beasts. This design approach explains why their legs are so small and atrophied, adapted for survival in a closed, hazardous environment like a cave, where aerial agility is far more crucial than terrestrial mobility. It's important to note that the mutation doesn't affect humans exclusively. Throughout the film, we see animals that have also been altered by the viral parasite, including deformed fish, moles, and a type of mutated salamander or lizard. There's even a brief appearance of a modified scorpion. However, these animal transformations are much less extreme. They only mutate partially, retaining much of their original form, while humans are completely transformed into horrifying monsters. Finally, it is suggested that the true danger of this viral parasite does not lie solely in its effect on cave-dwelling creatures. Its greatest threat may be its potential to spread and affect other forms of life beyond the subterranean ecosystem, opening the door to a biological catastrophe of unimaginable proportions if not contained in time.